Hi everyone, you're all very welcome to another Alpha Capital group video. So of course, in our trader series, we're speaking with Jonathan today, obviously getting underway with our trader interviews, of course, this week, of course, getting more about Jonathan, his style of trading, how he fell into trading, and of course, what he's looking at in terms of his strategy. So Jonathan, obviously very welcome aboard to the ACG interview series, but of course, obviously yourself as well in the community. You've been with us now quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, well, about 5-6 months in around that, I think.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. John, do you want to maybe talk me through a bit about yourself, how you got into trading?
Getting into trading, it's something I've always been interested in. Even as a kid, we had to watch the news on the FTSE rally and all this, and I'm no spring chicken. I always found it interesting and glamorous, maybe.
Yeah.
My own interests are news, economic things, current affairs.
Okay.
So I naturally follow the news a lot, stuff like that. I've got into a little bit more the rise of the cryptocurrency, the obvious thing. Didn't know a thing what it was doing really, but bought crypto, the usual stuff, and made a few quid out of it. Done quite well out of it. All right. And then I thought, oh, this is easy. Let's start doing a bit of forex and gold and oil. I knew it all, Well, I thought I did, and lost most of it. Until you have to learn it.
Yeah, live and learn for sure. Live and learn for sure. And have you been trading long, Jonathan? The FX?
I'd part time, 5-6 years in around that.
Okay. And more serious over the last year or two, probably
starting to look at it. You're easing off the physical work and looking to use the head a wee bit more. It's nice in the winter to sit in the house.
Yeah.
At the laptop.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
Brilliant.
So I don't mind that.
Yeah. Brilliant. And what brought you into trading? Because I know you're in the cryptos and you kind of migrated across. Was there any allure or anything that kind of said, "Oh, this is what I want to do," or was it just kind of an interest, just a kind of a hobby?
It was a bit of both. It was more like it's more like a hobby to keep a check on prices of this, that, and the way that things work, and it just sort of developed from that. From the crypto, I thought I wanted more, and surely it's not that hard, So I took a bash at it a few times and lost a few times. I've been with a few brokers.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think to myself, what way I'm going to do this? And as prop firms start to emerge, and the biggest problem with most things is interest. If you're only going to risk 1 or 2%, the average Joe's only got accounts of £1,000 or £2,000, so you don't take it serious enough.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a prop firm, you have 50 or 100,000 there, it works.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Certainly. It's all about risk reward. I think with the retail trading element as well, and that's something I've kind of looked at in recent years as well. When you're trading at 500 or 1,000 or £2,000, it's nearly like you're taking punts rather than making calculated judgments,
Yes,
and I think that's kind of where a lot of the retail traders fail. So within your strategy then, Jonathan, what do you look at? Because I know you're mentioning their current affairs. So you're obviously looking at broader narratives in the markets. You're looking at price action, I presume, are you?
Yeah, but my main is just major currencies, major crosses.
Okay.
The obvious ones. The holy grail for me is obviously the US dollar. What it does every 15 minutes, I track it. I follow it while I'm trading. I'm a news trader, but I wait till the news is over.
Okay.
See how the market reacts. If there's good news for the US dollar, if there's positive data, obviously you buy it.
Yep.
If it's not, you sell it. Each way on each cross, and it's just as simple as that. My support and resistance, and the RSI. That's the only indicators I use.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Fantastic. So you're obviously quite a technical guy then. If you're bringing in the indicators like RSI and support and resistance, so you're very much price action driven, watching what price action's doing, and calculated decisions off the back of that. Then I guess, yeah.
So I've no set time limit. It could be 5 minutes in a trade for 5 days.
Yeah.
You know, I give myself room and watch my risk.
Yeah,
You know,
I think, but anything, it's very, very hard to know how far or how long you run a position because, of course, you're taking each potential scenario on its own merits. Because it's very, very hard to say, well, I'm going to do this all the time because every situation is obviously different in that regard,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is obviously quite interesting. So, do you then? So you obviously look at fundamentals. You bring the price action in. It's how you kind of lay out your structure. And then you've mentioned the risk. So what types of risk management policies are you looking at? Kind of 1% per trade? Is there certain position sizes you look at?
But example, position size is around about 0.7 lots for me on a 50,000 account,
Okay.
which is more than enough. You can double it if you need to.
Yeah.
But risk 1 to 2%. 2% is very rare, but it depends on the fundamentals and what's going on that day. You have to take it all day. If you're in from morning time on the London and the US dollar says that I want it to go good, I'm happy enough to hold it and take another little bit of risk and cut the drawdown.
Yeah.
Really, you know,
Yeah.
and it works sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes not.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a game of probabilities. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
trader, and you probably admit it yourself with your years of experience. There's no strategy that's 100% foolproof, and
No,
you're not
no.
always going to win. I think that's really, really important as well. And I think it's handling the risk, managing the
Mm-hmm.
emotions is obviously very, very relevant to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose given that you've had a couple of bites of the cherry, and then you've kind of gone back into for more professional element, I presume you've done a lot of testing. Would you have done a lot of back testing, practicing, sorting out?
Yes, I've done that in the past. Things that you do your own research, obviously, as much as you can get in.
Hmm.
But I use the KISS method,
Okay.
KISS.
Okay.
Is keep it so simple. Out of
Okay.
everything we've tried, support, resistance, and RSI,
Okay.
and work on the news, but
Yeah.
don't trade the news. Trade
Yeah.
after it.
I've never actually heard of that analogy. So that kind of
Yeah.
reinforces the kind of the patience, the discipline, but also
Uh-huh.
not trying to overcomplicate things. I think
That's right.
what you see is a lot of guys trying to overcomplicate things, you know?
Yeah, you know, you're looking at your trading view charts and it's covered in a mass of things.
Yeah.
It's very hard to make a decision. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
you
And
know,
then I suppose so you're talking about there your position sizing. So obviously 0.7 lots, sometimes you'll double it. Do you look to then scale in? So I suppose it's really just dependent on the circumstances presented, is it?
yeah, yes. So chase it down. Try and get what I can out of it. It's going my way. Um,
Brilliant.
and try and not don't have too much exposure to the market too long.
Yeah,
But that's what I like to do.
yeah,
Uh, but as I say, sometimes it's there for days. If it's still in
yeah,
a bit of drawdown, get hold of it as long as don't move your stop losses. You know, make a decision, keep it there. If it's still alive, it's still alive. You
yeah.
know, but take the hit
Yeah,
if it
exactly.
happens.
Interesting. And then
Mhm.
do you look at then your performance? So obviously month in, month out in terms of progression, would you look at your metrics? Would you look at performance in terms of reviewing that to kind of gain that efficiency or improve that efficiency?
Well, it's at this stage, I am improving slightly, but it's only just down to risk management.
Okay.
You know, doing the obvious thing, not moving stop losses. You
Mhm.
know, get the emotions away. Oh, it's gone. Let it go.
Yeah,
Uh, and have a goal every week.
yeah,
You know, set them realistic. 3 or 4% is amazing every week.
yeah,
That's perfect for me. 3% is just right.
yeah,
You know, you can do more. Supposing the challenges here with Alpha Capital was a lot quicker at that. But on funded trading, live trading, 3% is plenty.
yeah. Well,
Plenty.
like the thing is as well, 3%, it's all relative because of course 3% in a 50K account is 1,500 quid.
Yeah,
Whereas 3% in 1,000 is obviously much less. So I think
this is the
you
problem.
have to be realistic too. And I think that's the allure with the prop
Yeah.
firms as well, that you don't have to take massive risk to
Mm-hmm.
see the fruits of the labor and obviously the longer term results, you know, which
Yeah.
I think is quite interesting. So in terms
Yeah.
of, I suppose, your journey then into trading, what do you find to be the most enjoyable part?
Winning. Yeah. Yes, I get it right. But yeah, it's knowing that there's something there that you can have a career at.
Yeah.
It can be. well, it can be life changing, as in your work
Yeah.
life balance.
Yeah.
And well, if you get it right, it certainly pays a lot more than what I'm used to.
Yeah. Well,
So I can live with that.
it's quite interesting in that regard because of course the allure is for a lot of people is to try and make $1 million or whatever it is. But I think you have to, I think what you mentioned there with the smaller goals, realigning of goals, and then work up, building, accumulating capital, and having
Yeah,
larger portions of equity as you develop, I think is probably
yeah,
the better strategy, kind of what you're alluding to there. Brilliant.
yeah.
And I suppose then in your journey, then what are the, I suppose, elements that you think that a good trader today needs to have? Like, what if you're talking to yourself now as a trader, if you could talk to yourself as maybe 10 years ago or 6 years ago getting into the markets, what would you be telling yourself to focus on?
To focus on your risk and be realistic with your goals. You don't get rich. You don't get well, you do get rich maybe, but you don't get rich quick. Like I'm talking about 3% is very conservative. Hell, 1% would be okay.
Yeah.
But there's for what work I do and things at the minute, there's no one pays me 1,500 quid a week.
Yeah.
And I can do this now. So I'm excited for the future and looking forward to it.
Mm.
I'm a young 25-year-old man, and I hope it gets better. You know what I mean, Jared?
What's that analogy they say, like a fine wine?
Yeah, yes, well, something like that. Yes,
Something
yes,
like that,
same
exactly.
stout. Yeah,
Exactly. And I suppose, like, if you look at the broader markets and the broader demographic of traders, both young and old, what do you think good traders now need to have? What qualities do they need to have in order to be successful?
patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait for get your timing right. Wait for the time. Don't jump in, especially in volatile markets. It's jumping all over the place, up and down, and don't go in too far. Like we do have this Discord channel and things. And, everybody's got their own way of doing things, but going 10, 15, 20 lots
Mm-hmm.
in the news. This sort of kamikaze little, but that's my view.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
you know,
I
you
think
know.
having a plan, you'd probably echo those thoughts as well. Having a plan and being able to stick to that plan is really kind of paramount, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah. Don't get greedy. As I say, my lot size and things. If
Mhm.
things is going well, you might go up a little bit, but that's it. That's
Yeah.
I'd never go over one lot for
Yeah.
my size. I think that's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important to be realistic as well. Because I
Mhm.
think like even when we see it as well, so many guys
Yeah.
fail. And either the two reasons that they're failing is their position size and they're not able to control the emotions of having
Uh,
very large sums of capital in terms of the position sizing, or they're just
yeah.
they're having too high of an exposure in the markets.
Yeah.
So I suppose then what you've talked about there at the beginning in terms of staying up to date with current affairs. So how do you stay up to date with the ever changing, developing markets? Like what do you focus? Do you look at Bloomberg? Do you look at your Twitter accounts? Do you look at what do you tend to focus on?
Yes. Everything. Twitter, FX Street, investing.com, Bloomberg, everything. They're all on there. All their economic calendars. Forex Factory.
Okay.
They bounce up. They stay on the screen all week. We just read it all the time and kind of keep up to date.
Yeah.
It's just all about being a newsreader.
Yeah.
I feel, for me it is, but I like doing that.
Yeah.
So
It's what you're interested in, as well.
yeah,
Like, everyone's
yeah,
different. Like we just see it as well. Every trader is different, every strategy is different. And I think it's
mhm,
developing an edge, what works for you. And I think that's
yeah. uh
what you're kind of looking at there.
mhm.
Fascinating, interesting. And I suppose, do you then set out, Jonathan, do you have like long-term goals? Like, do you have goals of, right, in 12 months time, this is kind of where I want to be, or in 18 months time, this is where I want to be? Do you ever set yourself kind of reoccurring kind of goals for the future as a young
Yeah,
25-year-old man?
yes. Seeing I'm such a young man, I'm thinking of maybe retiring early, you know, um, to the cost as well. Well, I'm 52-year-old. My goal within a year or within the next 2 months, I'll be doing this full time.
Okay.
The rest doesn't really matter. I'm cozy enough in the house, home, all that. Uh, I'd like to scale up my account, but not buy into another one. Scale up and build it up. as
Okay.
far as I can go.
Yeah.
Within the first year, I'd like to have an account size double what it is now.
Okay.
And work it up. I think I'd be better working my way up to it rather than trying to handle bigger amounts of money.
Yeah.
Because then you pull out too quick. Yeah.
It's progressional, really, isn't it? Like, I think
Yeah.
the mindset of, and I even say it as well, the guys handling 50K and then going from 50 to, let's say, 200, it's a massive jump, or 50 to 100, it can be a massive jump. And I think it's important to stay grounded with goals in that regard, you know.
Yes.
That's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. I suppose then I suppose having the well-rounded strategy, having the approach is ultimately paramount. And is there any other things that you would consider traders need to have other than patience, other than discipline? Is there anything else that you could think of that traders should embody or kind of look at when they're looking at the markets?
Enjoy it. Enjoy what you're doing and take a break. Don't stare at the screen if it's in drawdown. It doesn't help. It doesn't discriminate. It will go where it wants to go.
Yeah.
Get a dog, take a walk. Get someone else's dog and take a walk, even if you don't have one.
Yeah.
But move away from it. Set your stop losses, and be confident with your trade, and you can walk away from it.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important as well. Discipline as well. Knowing when to trade is equally as important as knowing when to walk away, as I'm sure you're kind of echoing that as well, you know?
Yeah.
But that's fantastic. Well, Jonathan, thank you very much for popping in. I'll tell you what, we'd love to have you back again in, let's say, 6 months or 9 months to see how you're developing on your journey.
Yeah, no problem. Get one of those. The best walk dog in Ireland.
I love it.
This is my day to day every trade.
Love it, Jonathan. Love it. Well, look, thanks a million for joining us today. Anyway, best of luck over the next kind of couple of months and, of course, through the year of 2023. And, of course, we'd love to have you back again later in the year to see how you're getting on with us, to see how your journey's developing. And, obviously, thanks a million for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Derek. Have a lovely day, everyone.
You too. Thanks, Jonathan. Take care, sir. Have a good one. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye-bye.